Hey everyone, my name is Wedge and the time has come for some post-rotation finance guides. In this video, we're looking at all the best cards from Kaladesh to buy right now. The cards at their lowest price ever and the cards you really shouldn't ignore that will keep going up in price. I do hope you enjoy this finance video, and if you do, remember hit the like button right down there. It helps out a lot. Thumbs up. We'll begin with one of the more well-known cards in this set, Saheeli Rai. This is a Planeswalker fell out of favor when Felidar Guardian was banned in Standard, but guess what? That isn't the case in Modern, and that's where we're focusing our attention. Felidar Guardian and Saheeli Rai are the next coming of Splinter Twin. And while the combo isn't technically as effective, it is good enough to create a real Modern deck. Various versions of the copycat strategy have 5-0'd Modern leagues, and actually plays decently in competitive events. What makes her so enticing as a pickup right now is that she's $4. That's incredibly cheap for a strong Planeswalker with wide application. Now, if Modern isn't your shtick, she's still super strong in Commander. Even without the power of a constructed format, Saheeli slots right into the new other Saheeli Commander 2018 deck, but more importantly, she goes in Breya, one of the most popular commanders in the entire format. Between these two destinations alone, her value will climb slowly. At $4 right now, whether you're into Modern or Commander, this is a solid grab. $16 for a playset, that's value. Smuggler's Copter is up next, another card wrecked by Standard bannings. Players are finally moving the Copter into older formats, namely Modern. Believe it or not, the Copter is getting a bunch of play in aggressive red decks and Death and Taxes strategies. The card is legitimately powerful. That's why it was banned from Standard in the first place. Auto-include everywhere. It's aggressive and gives aggressive decks what they want most, card choice. Sitting under $2 each right now makes for a sweet bargain, considering it's already going up in price. Yeah, it's already turning a corner. Don't sleep on the Copter if you need it for Modern. Also, it is in thousands of Commander decks, from Depala to Breya to Zurgo Bellstriker to so much more. Great card, and for under $2, not much of a risk, just saying. Panharmonicon is probably the juiciest spec on this list. This stupid thing has the makings of doubling season. Now, obviously, it isn't going to be $50 like the season, but it's a card that keeps getting better with each set that's printed. Abusing Enter the Battlefield triggers is highly coveted, and like doubling season, will be worth a lot to a ton of players for years and years to come. Completely unaffected by rotation, Panharmonicon is sneakily going up in price. Do not miss this train. It's $5 right now, but in a month, at the rate it's going, it could be $10. In a year, $20. You see where I'm going with this. Even if you don't plan on using the card yourself, get some copies to stash away for later or for friends. Cards like this, with evergreen value, they don't go down in price without a reprint ever. Life gain decks are some of the most popular in the Commander format, right? Aloro, Karlov, Eiley. You can name a bunch of strategies that have life gain sub-themes. And remember, the format starts you at 40 life, right? No wonder Aetherflux Reservoir is so sought after. In life gain strategies and Storm decks, doesn't really matter. Aetherflux Reservoir is a win condition against your entire table. We just spoke about universal and everlasting appeal with Panharmonicon. But Aetherflux Reservoir, this card approaches that concept in a totally different way. It's in your face, it's intimidating, powerful on its own, and nearly ready to activate as soon as you put it in your deck. It costs $2.70 right now and has only gone up since rotation, albeit very little. Now is the perfect time to get yourself some copies of the Reservoir. Even foil copies are only $12, which I consider low for a Commander card of this magnitude. Reprinting this won't be particularly easy either, as it doesn't fit into much, and I'm not even sure Wizards likes this type of design in a pre-con deck. Regardless, you cannot go wrong at under $3 for a single copy. I'd get one as soon as you can because the price is already starting to move. The cards to be the most afraid of are the ones that aren't impacted by rotation at all. This is one of them. Get a copy. Chandra Torch of Defiance. This card gives me a headache for so many reasons. I went back and forth on whether or not to include this in the video, but it's here, so clearly I made a decision. Now, to be very clear, I do not think Chandra's going to be $50 tomorrow, even though it's $11 right now. I don't think that. She's on this list purely because I know she isn't going to keep going lower. How do I know that? A couple reasons. First, her commander presence. Kaladesh Chandra is interesting. Because she has 4 abilities and is a single color, she's enticing to commander players everywhere. Commander players like options, right? Chandra comes with a bunch of them and shocks all opponents with her +1, not bad for a start. Add in her mana ramp, removal, and super removal emblem, and you have a strong, versatile walker. Players want that. Plus, there's actual value in Infamy. She's a 4-ability walker that was like $50. She can only go so low. Lastly, she has seen a non-zero amount of constructed play. Don't get me wrong, it is an amazing constructed play. She isn't the next staple in Modern or Legacy, but players are testing with her, which means she'll still be in the conversation, which means this infamous walker isn't going to stay around $11 for long. She just isn't. She'll rise slowly over the course of a few years unless she's reprinted. So if you've been eyeing her for any particular reason, $11 seems like a pretty safe bottoming out point. Get her now. Her stock can only rise, to be honest. Let's shift gears a bit and talk Gearhawks. Not all of the Gearhawks, mind you, just some of them. First, Noxious Gearhawk. I cannot imagine it's a surprise to see this card in this video. With a powerful removal spell in tow and life gain abound, Noxious Gearhawk has a high value under the battlefield trigger and big body to boot. These are supposed to be the fix to Titans as far as I'm concerned, and I think Wizards did a fine job. That's why the Gearhawk sees such extended commander play. Noxious Gearhawk is under $3 right now for a mythic rare. Now, that might not spur you into action, but the card wasn't a standard staple. It didn't warp the format. Most crap mythics end up around $1, but Noxious Gearhawk isn't a crap mythic. And it's in thousands of commander decks. Muldrotha, Marin, Brea, it's strong stuff. If left without a reprint, this will go the way of the Titans of old and rise slowly for years and years. At $2.75 right now, that's a sweet deal for the strongest commander Gearhawk, just saying. Combustible Gearhawk is $2. It's $2! And while it doesn't have the same universally awesome impact that Noxious Gearhawk does in Commander, it's still quite powerful in the right strategies, namely aggressive red decks or red decks that utilize graveyard shenanigans of any kind. Artifact strategies are what I'm getting at. Fell into the third path to ready scrap Savant Brea, something even more aggressive like Cedrus or Rakdos himself, you get what I'm saying. Again, not the most popular Gearhawk, but more than popular enough to be worth more than $2 right now, so keep an eye out. The last Gearhawk we're looking at is Torrential Gearhawk, but for very different reasons. Of course, this construct is good in Commander and any blue spell-based deck. It recurs a spell, it's obviously very good. But the potential power in Modern is why we're talking about this robot. At only $4 right now and a potential powerhouse in something like Mono Blue Tron, where it's already getting results, sleeping on this card is a bad idea. You know how fast things can change in a format like Modern, how fast a card flies through the roof, and I'm no expert in Mono Blue Tron, I just look at the data, and the data says that players are trying to make Torrential Gearhawk work. At one point, it was one of the most expensive cards in Kaladesh, but since rotation has plateaued around $4 each, $4, you have to admit. For a card like this, with the raw power included, $4 seems really low, but that's what it is. And the potential value is so much higher than that. You know that's true. This is a great time to grab a few copies if you need them, or hoard them away, whichever works for you. I just couldn't do this video without telling you that Torrential Gearhawk was $4. It's kind of nuts. If you're looking for something really low to the ground, I got you back. Bombat Courier, one of the best cards in Kaladesh Standard, is rotated out and is now 60 cents. I'm not even kidding, 60 cents. The best part? This stupid construct is in Modern. It isn't a staple by any means, but it is seeing a non-zero amount of play in Vengevine recursion decks and some burn strategies. Given the potential power here, I think 60 cents is a bit of a joke. There's a reason foils are $7 in comparison, even if the card goes up a couple dollars to even $2 exactly. It's a 3 times multiplier. Can't go wrong there. Easy pickup, really cheap, no real risk, and has potential power. Just do it. Nike, please don't sue me. These last few cards are my favorite in this video for all of you to get right now. Inventors Fair is the first. So many players have forgotten about this card, which makes it the perfect time to get yourself some copies at around $3 each right now. Foils are 16. It's a crazy huge multiplier, and for good reason. Inventors Fair is a Modern and Commander card. In Modern, Ironworks decks use it, Lantern Control is all up in there. Then in Commander, the card is in every single artifact deck ever. It tutors for an artifact you need. Breya, Sidri, Shawroom, it's in colorless Kozilek decks. The fair's all over the place, and considering how focused it is, probably won't see reprints all that often. Players are sleeping on this card, and they shouldn't be. I think $3 is more than a bargain right now when you consider its current and future playability. Get yourself a fair. Alright, we made it. The cards I think are the absolute must-buys post-rotation right now. The fast lands. This cycle of lands is going to be used forever. Blooming Marsh, Botanical Sanctum, Concealed Courtyard, Inspiring Vantage, and Spire Bluff Canal. The enemy fast lands, given enough time, could easily become what the allied fast lands were. Beyond expensive. The early signs are already there. Marsh is played in Jund and Golgari decks in Modern all the time. Sanctum is in banned Spirits, one of the best Modern decks right now. Courtyard is in some Taxis strategies, but honestly that doesn't matter much when so many white-black Commander decks run it, just so many. Inspiring Vantage is in Naya Burn, that's all I need to see. And the Canal is in Storm, Counterburn, Wizards, Delver, all that nonsense. These fast lands are going to appreciate in value faster than you think, they have eternal value in Magic, and their prices are a bargain for their power, at least to me. Marsh is under $5, Sanctum is $3, Courtyard is under $2.50, Vantage is barely above $2, and the Canal is the most expensive at $6. Barely any of them took even a hint of a hit from rotation, and that's because players are still using them and still value them highly. You should too. These are guaranteed investments. As with every good land cycle that rotates out of Standard, get them. If you want to see any of the cards we talked about in this video or purchase any of them for the cheapest they're ever going to be, you can click the first link in the description. It has a single copy of every single card right there, super easy. Now, what do you think? Are there cards from Kaladesh that you're targeting? Any sleepers you think I missed? Would love to hear what you're thinking. So please comment below so we can all talk about it. Also, stay tuned for more post-rotation finance reviews and just a ton more in general. And as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.